No, I don't know how long it's been. What time is it? 1:30? Okay.
It's late.
1:30. It's late. Look at that.
Jaren, how does it feel to be a second-year guy and people are looking at you? I mean, this is supposed to be your team. They're looking at you to be the leader, to be the future, all at the same time.
Yeah, it's flattering getting any sort of feedback that's, positive or anybody acknowledging the work you put in. It feels good. I'm glad I got the rookie stuff over with because now you can kind of just be a player in the league. And, I'm going to enjoy it being a sophomore. Enjoy it.
Looking back on it, what do you remember most about your rookie year?
I remember just being shocked by how many games really were playing in a row, like quickly, how frequent they came because you never really know it until you do it. But you got a lot of games to play, but when you feel it, you're like, man, but the games are all fun. And, I can't imagine doing anything else.
Jaren, you were right there when Ja got selected with the number 2, right there as soon as he came off the stage. And we saw, photos of you and him at Summer League. Can you kind of talk about how your relationship has evolved over the summer through Summer League and cheering the other guys on in Summer League?
That's my brother, man. Like, we were around each other so much that we genuinely just organically built that chemistry with each other from day one. And I definitely wanted to, establish that from day one. That's why I went out there. And that was just a funny moment for me to see him. I was just teasing him and stuff. But obviously I know how the feeling was because I was doing it last year. And, yeah, ever since then we've just seen each other every day. So you seeing it, it is what it is.
And how does that kind of influence, the on-court chemistry, having that kind of on-court, off-court chemistry? Does that play into, what you expect to be able to accomplish this year?
Into, everybody, just the stuff you can do off the court. I mean, me, him, and Dylan, we weren't playing, so we were around each other all the time in Vegas, and we were, working out with each other every day. So that type of thing, you learn each other's tendencies, you hang out with each other, you find out more about each other. That all goes into team chemistry. So, I mean, everybody on the team is very close, I would say. You would find that really frequent, a common theme between everybody. Everybody's really close to each other. Everybody knows each other. Everybody supports each other.
What's something you found out about Ja that shocked you that you
Probably music taste, because we had a Lil Baby Gunna argument, and that's carried over for a while. It's not over. And, we go back and forth because, there's days when I'm like, yeah, Lil Baby's fire right now, or Gunna's fire right now. They're both fire. But, I know he likes Lil Baby a lot, so.
You pick Gunna, he picked Lil Baby?
And some instances, that's probably what we're doing. But we both, it's hard to say because some days I'll be like, yeah, Lil Baby fire.
What particular song you like?
By who?
Gunna.
I mean, Dribble Drown, Pedestrian, Spending Addiction, anything off Dribble Drown 2, Baby Birkin. You want me to keep going?
Yeah.
One Call, Speed It Up, Fire. And the features. I mean, he was on the song with Lil Mosey, Stuck in a Dream. Really want me to keep going? I mean,
you can switch to Lil Baby now.
All right, Lil Baby. Exotic, Pure, Cocaine, that was fire. He got a lot of everybody got hits, you know what I'm saying? And then they had the tape together.
Y'all never bust out any freestyle battles?
Oh yeah, no, we did that we actually did that in an Uber one time. We was at Barney's and then we were going to the hotel, and then the Uber had mics in the car, and you could put in YouTube, play a beat.
You got a lot of mics right there. Go ahead, kick us off.
Nah, I ain't got it. You gotta say it.
Oh, come on, man.
You're supposed to be the face. Hey, look, gotta be professional, man. New coach, new everything, new jerseys, new people.
When you were in Vegas with the Summer League team, you and Ja couldn't play, of course, but Jaren talked about how.
Ja talked.
I'm sorry.
You good.
It's all J's, bro. It's throwing me off. I appreciate that. But he talked about how, he was able to see how quickly the team embraced what coach is trying to get done. Were you able to look, what were you guys talking about on the sidelines? Okay, I see Brandon can do this, or, the other guy can do that. What kind of things were you all seeing and kind of chopping up, looking forward to this season?
Well, it didn't really start there. I mean, we saw him in practice, and, when we were playing with them in practice, we really could see, what their tendencies are, what they can do, and the talent, really shown through our whole team. Where in practice, I kind of said it early. Like, obviously, every team in Summer League thought they were going to win it, but I genuinely thought that we were going to win. You know, I knew I wasn't playing. I was like, yeah, we're really good, like crazy, like top to bottom. And, yeah, as you can see, like guys like, I mean, obviously Brandon, because he MVP, you know, did his thing, went crazy. But, you know, Yuta, Bruno, like everybody was playing, John, Tyler, Dusty, like it was crazy.
What
Yeah, what do you guys have in that?
This year? What does really good mean this year as it translates to an NBA season?
What is
Like, what is that? How do you think that will translate now to this regular season? Like, how do you look at this season? Maybe
You
compare
mean Summer League?
Yeah, just you said you were looking at the team and like
Oh.
different guys you thought were really good. Like, what is really good? What do you think that'll mean for this season? This group having it together. Like, what's realistic? What are your goals? How do you see this season playing out for you guys?
We take it day by day. I mean, you just got to focus on getting better each day. And as long as you do that, everything comes together the way it should be. I think that's how you should move in life. You know, you should move a day at a time, come in each day, try to win each day. So you do that, and things come together.
Are you the same height that you were this time last year?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I haven't really, like, done it. We just did measurements, and I was 6'11" without shoes. So. with
Still
shoes-
growing.
Yeah, still growing. I grew in, like, the last 3 months.
What were you without shoes at the like 3'6", like without shoes combine?
I don't even remember. Probably like 6'9" or something, right? Hopefully it's.
Do you have any feelings on like the changes to the rules where they're like trying to mandate that you get accurate measurements for players?
I mean, no. I mean, it's cool. I think it's. I don't know. I think everybody wants to be taller on the on the sheet, so that's probably why they're doing it. You know, everybody was getting a little bump up, but yeah.
You're
It's
going to be looked to do a lot of leading on the team. What are some of the things that you've learned from Mike and Mark last year that you'll be able to teach some of the new guys?
Yeah, they had different styles. Like you saw Mike lead by example, and so does Mark, and they're not as maybe like loud and like in your face about certain things, but they lead by example and they represent themselves really well. So they, by definition, expect you to be ready when you're called upon, and that's the same. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. That's just how I approach things. You lead by example, come to work every day, and prove by your actions. Because you can talk all you want, but you just prove it by your actions and how you work out and what you put into it. And everybody on the team brings a little something in their own way to lead the other people around them. So you look at guys like Dylan, like he's been in the league. Kyle, he's been in the league. JV, he's been in the league for a little bit. Like those are guys that have a lot of experience that they can bring and give help to anyone pretty much.
Jaren, for you personally, obviously last year your season was short due to injury. You had to answer a lot of questions about your health the last several months. How excited are you personally to show and put that to rest?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to just be back, to have the opportunity to come back feeling stronger. Because I know a lot of people, when they get hurt, they're not able to do that. And that's pretty much it. You got to just take it for what it is. When it happened, you just got to grasp it and understand that it's going to be a process to get back. And I followed it, and I did what I had to do, and I'm glad I did, for sure.
But are you just like tired of hearing that, talking about injury stuff, and you just extra eager to get out there this year?
Nah, to be fair, I didn't really do like that much media. Like, it's been a minute since I saw it. So it's not like that. It's not really that bad. But I don't know. I mean, it's just a question. It's like, how you feeling? Feeling good? Yeah. I'm good now.
Jared, what kind of passenger rating did you guys get from that Uber ride with Ja?
Oh, definitely 5 stars. Probably 6, bro. Should have been 6.
What kind of when you get in an Uber, do the drivers usually recognize you, and if they don't, do they like ask questions like they do?
I mean, definitely because I'm tall, so it's like, whoa, and then they'll probably figure something out. It depends how long the drive is. If it's a long one, you probably gonna figure it out. They might ask enough questions.
You ever joked around and told them you were something other than an NBA player?
Definitely 1 or 2 times, because you just gotta have fun with it. I probably said one time I probably said lacrosse. Lacrosse. Said went to Maryland for lacrosse. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, beat North Carolina or something like that. Some out of nowhere they didn't expect it.
Jaren, is there a sense of excitement to be a part of a team with so many new? I mean, last year you did media day and there's Mike and Mark, the veterans, but now this is a team with 13 new faces, and you're one of the guys that's actually coming. Is there a sense of you're all young, there's a new core, but you guys can build this up together?
Yeah, and we like to play fast-paced, young, like you said, and just eager. That, you know, being young comes with, you know, a lot of eagerness to get going, but you know, we're not all young. We got a lot of experience here and there that can give us a lot of tips on how to control that and manage eagerness and being frantic. You know, just toning that in and taking it day by day.
What did you work on this offseason?
What I work on,
Yeah.
man, it was a lot of everything. But I would say like early on, like when I was hurt, it was my shot, just because there was nothing else to really do, and just preparation and just getting that, you know, fine-tuned. My ball handling, and a lot of it was just watching. When I was out, I got to see a lot of, you know, our team play, and watching it from that angle was huge because you get to see how game flow is, and that's probably one of the biggest things you have.
What was your feedback on your season last year when you went back and watched it? One of the things that how did you feel that you did?
I felt like, you know, there was a lot of different things you could take away. I think from a scoring perspective, I definitely proved that I can be effective in certain ways, but you know, you can't be predictable. You gotta grow and find other ways to get to the basket. And you know, I know like a lot of the ways I scored before aren't always gonna work just because people get better, people scout better, and you know, that's what I did. Just add different pieces to my game where I can, you know, score better, have better awareness. I think that's another thing I needed to work on, just because sometimes I felt like I had tunnel vision, and if I was going to score, yeah, even if I scored, like, you know, just being more aware of what's around me, what the reads are and stuff like that. Just having better control of the ball and not getting into foul trouble. But I mean, yeah.
With Jonas out there, you would be a 4 most likely. I mean, generally speaking. But you think are 5 long term? Do you care about where you develop? How
I mean, positions really. I mean, I've grown up in the positionless age, I guess, if you want to call it. But I mean, I don't really know positions anymore. Just go out there. Whoever's out there, let's run it.
Jaren,
What do you think you
mentioned
and JV together looks like, though?
Who?
When you and JV are playing together, what's that going to look like?
Great. Other than, I know what you're saying, kind of. Not really. I really don't know. Like,
Well, I mean, do you think it'll work in terms of he has the freedom to play to his strengths, you have the freedom to play to your strengths, where you each have to concede a little bit? You know what I mean?
I think it just depends on matchups, like the opposing team, probably. Like who, I mean, if a slower guy's on me, then it's different than if a smaller guy's on him, or if a slower guy's on him. I don't know. It just kind of, you feed off of what happens in the game. I don't think it's a set thing that you can just say, you know, we'll watch film as a team a lot, and then I see what he can do more and more, because we didn't play together as much. So, you know, that was something, but definitely as the more we play, we find out a lot more about each other.
Jaren, you were talking about
a little bit better every day, but with so much new coming into this season, how do you measure success for this team? What does success look like for you?
Success just means focusing on like the values that we have, you know, internally, and that's just, you know, to always compete, to be together, and to just get better every day. And if we just focus on those 3 things, we're gonna be fine. And coach talks about them, coach preaches them, we preach them, and we don't focus on anything else. Because I feel like if you focus, if you keep, you know, tunnel vision, but if you keep tunnel vision with your goals and those certain things, then everything else kind of comes together.
Last year you guys, 2 more.
Last year you asked a lot about learning, about developing who you're learning from. Did that get tiresome a little bit, and is it different now, just having to talk about how you're learning from other people as opposed to this year now going into leading?
Of course not. I mean, that's what it's all about. If you're not learning, then what are you doing? So like, I'm still learning. Like, even when you're learning when you are playing, you're learning when you're not playing. Obviously, when you're not playing, it's easier because you know you're not about to check into the game when you're watching it. So when I wasn't playing, I took the time to, you know, watch how Joakim did what he did on the court, watch what JV did, watch, you know, what different players were doing and their habits, and, you know, even when Mark was there, you know, watching what he did. So from my position, especially watching them up close and in person, and then asking them questions like during timeouts, during the game, they would tell me little things like that. That goes a long way.
Jaren, you were talking about
What are your initial
how
impressions of Taylor? What do you think his demeanor and style will add to this core that you guys?
He's excited. He's excited to get going. He's first time, first year, fresh. You know, a lot of firsts around here, a lot of first time people around here. So that kind of energy is infectious, and he proves it every day. You know, he's straightforward. What you see is what you're gonna get, and he's a very excited person. I'm glad he's here.
Jaren, you were talking about, obviously, you and Ja's relationship off the field, talking about music and everything. Have you guys, or off the court, I should say, have you talked about what it's going to look like with the two of you on the court, and what's that conversation like?
For sure. I mean, obviously, like, specifically speaking, that's, like, boring. That's, like, tendencies. Y'all need to know all that. But
Sure, that's going to be fun, too.
No. Because that's, like, giving them answers. But I think just playing hard. Like, that's one thing, like, we both know about each other, that we play hard. And, like, when I look at him, I can count on him to play hard every single time. He can count on me for the same thing. So it was really easy. And then in workouts, we both just had a lot of fun just getting better and improving. Pretty much we were on the same timetable in terms of getting back into the season, so it was fun to just be like that.
Jay, you're talking about working on your ball handling in the offseason. We saw a lot of video of you taking guys off the dribble, good NBA defenders off the dribble in pickup games. Was it just something we saw in pickup games, or is it something we should expect to see during the season? That's a pretty scary player, you taking people off the dribble.
Yeah, expect to see it anyway.
That's good.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks.